And when did you start at Berklee? In what year?
2010.
2010, and you graduated 2013. And in 2015, you had the #1 record in the country. So from the time you graduate Berklee to the time
Established starting in 2010.
and now other producers are trying to sound like you also. Shout out to, I won't mention it.
Let you walk away. I'm like, what are those chords? How? And it's just making her go crazy, and like, you know, my friends go crazy. I want to be responsible for making my own music that makes them go crazy. They make the coolest melodies.
So at a certain point, you say to yourself, I want to, you know, showcase myself to the world. You have a medium, YouTube, and you have the option to try to showcase yourself as a classical musician, a jazz musician, you know, go into a James Taylor vein or go into an Isley Brothers vein. Do you remember thinking about that, or were you like, I'm just going to do pop music? Like, where does ego come from? How do those songs happen?
Oh my gosh, that was me trying to be a pop act. Like, shamelessly, it's okay to want to be a famous person. I wanted to be a famous person. I wanted to be known around the world from even before I went to Berklee. And there's no shame in saying this. You know, it's like I wanted to be known around the world for what I do, and I wanted to inspire other people to do the same thing. I would look at Justin Bieber, like going out of a restaurant, thousands of people just like, you know, flailing over him and being like, I want to do that, but I want to implement what I learned at Berklee, because I knew I was going to Berklee, and I had prior gone to Manhattan School of Music. I want to learn everything about jazz and put it into pop music, because I think that there's going to be a way, like, no, like everyone's going to like it one day. There's going to, like, everyone's just going to be sick of the A flat, E flat, A flat. They want
Right.
They're going to want the 2/5. So I and they love it now. And it just took some time to figure it out, but I'm not saying I pioneered that, but I'm happy.
So auto-tunes led to ego. Mm-hmm. And what did you discover from your first release, auto-tunes, moving to ego? What did you discover about pop creativity, what you were doing?
I discovered that, well, I mean, what's cool about those little Berklee release albums, those bedroom pop albums, is that, yes, it was musically experimenting and figuring myself out, but it reassured me that I didn't have to listen to the radio. There was no Spotify back then, so it was all top 40 radio. I didn't have to listen to the radio and try and recreate what was already popping on the radio, because still to this day, you don't want to do that, because those songs were made probably months or years ago. You want to do what is within you, because what is within you is one of one. Nobody else can do that. And that's how new music and new discoveries come about. So making those little projects with like the jazz pop influence, even though they weren't perfect, it was still like the start of something. And it's still, that's why there's one of me. It's a lot of prepositional phrases. There's a reason why I have trouble writing for other artists, because it just sounds so much like me. I have that musical stamp that was kind of established starting in 2010.
And now
James Taylor, who I've actually gotten the pleasure to work with on this last record. And my dad would listen to Isley Brothers, and my mom would listen to more James Taylor and Phil Collins, and I kind of sidechain on it, some LFO tool. I put a Lynn kick drum under it, and a snap my own pre-shifted snap where I do at the same time, and together it goes. So you get like a little pre-shifted snap, and an 808, like some bass, some sub bass, and that was it. That was like 4 tracks, and then I wrote the whole song over it, and then I was like, okay, now successful as Prince Charles Alexander, you're gonna have a pool hall one day. But thank you, that means a lot. You don't have to, what you said, I love what you said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just kind of have to take what was great about the wheel and make little improvements of what you think are improvements, and that's how music is. Great music is recycled from bits of the past.
Charlie Puth, you're the best. Much success, continued success on your journey, and I'll be watching, as will everyone else from Berklee, I'm sure.